Hi everyone, this is Marianne and I am back. But before we go back to regular programming, I just wanted to quickly come on here to show you one of the things, one of the major things that happened lately that kept me away from doing the things that I have to do. On the morning of Thursday, May 13, I decided I have had enough of my MacBook Pro acting up. I have done my research and it is most likely a flex cable problem, and I will show you later exactly what my laptop is doing. But because I am ever the hopeful person when it comes to certain things, and also to a large degree because I refuse to believe that Apple has failed me after all these years, I decided maybe the inside of my laptop is just dirty and that is affecting certain connections and circuits. In my research, I found out that there is this thing called Flexgate, and I will explain that later. But I didn't want to believe that that was happening to me. So I decided to clean the inside of my MacBook Pro. It's not going to be the first time for me to open up a Mac laptop. I've been using Apple laptops since around 1996. I know my way around them, both software-wise and hardware-wise. I am not an expert, but I can do some superficial troubleshooting. But I needed a particular screwdriver before I can even open up the back panel of my laptop, so I went to Wilcon Depot. I needed a super tiny star-shaped screwdriver, and the star has 5 points. And these two staff members of Wilcon have been extremely helpful in searching for what I needed, picking out some screwdrivers that they think would work, and then trying them out on a particular screw, but none of them worked. And in the end, none of us were successful. Next, I dropped by City Hardware, which is just about 300 meters away from Wilcon, and they had an even smaller selection of screwdriver sets. I saw these, but these are 6 pointed stars, not the 5 pointed stars that I needed, and these ones are way too big. And then after City Hardware, I decided to drop by this even smaller hardware store called Pintorama. I once found some bolts and nuts here that I could not find elsewhere, so I thought maybe they had this screwdriver. And the way that they operate is that people actually can't go inside. You have to stand by this counter outside of the store and tell the dude what you need, and he'll go check. So I told him what I needed. He went and checked, and he said they didn't have the screwdriver. Okay, so I decided to drop by a store called 3GX. It was located in the old Centro or Central Business District, but there was no parking near that store, so I had to circle around and decided to just walk over there. But when I was walking, I decided to drop by this place first. This is Bichara Mall. It's very small, but it's filled with cell phone and laptop stuff, accessories, repair, that kind of thing. The second floor specifically is dedicated to cell phone and laptop stuff and other small gadgets and electronics, I suppose. And then I found a dude named Mike who said it sounded like a flex cable problem because he himself had encountered something like this before in a 2017 MacBook Pro like mine, and he was able to repair it. And I asked him if he can do the replacement, and he said he can, but he does not have the replacement flex cable, so he referred me to this other dude, which is in a different location. So I drove over there. I didn't bother to go to 3GX anymore, which was my initial purpose for coming to this area. So I drove over there to the place where this other dude was, and this is ALDP Mall. This is much bigger than the previous mall, but it has its own tech section, and the dude I'm looking for is supposed to be here, but he's not in yet. He is a licensed Apple repairman or technician because there is a licensed Apple repair shop in a particular mall here, but they do not actually have the technicians in the mall. They send the units or the computers or the laptops over to him, and he is the one who repairs everything for them. So after a few minutes, he arrived and I showed him the problem, and he also said that it was a flex cable problem, and he has fixed a bunch of computers who had this problem before, and that he can certainly replace the flex cable for me. The problem with the flex cable of the 2017 MacBook Pros is that they are too short. So after a while, with all of the opening and closing of the screen, like we always do with laptops, the cable tugs at itself and causes problems with the display. He quoted me a price. I said, I'll think about it. I got his number and then proceeded to go home and think about it. But let me show you what the problem is. At this point, whenever I open the screen, if it's still partially opened like this, the screen looks normal. But when it gets to a certain angle that's closer and closer to being fully opened, the screen's backlight sort of dims a little bit, and then the entire screen turns black. And sometimes when I close the screen and open it up, it happens again. But sometimes when I do the same thing, the screen doesn't even light up anymore. Like right here, even though the keyboard is performing normally, as you can see, keyboard lights are on, touch bar is on, still asking for my fingerprint, just like normal. But the screen is black. I can see nothing. Now, several weeks before this, I have observed a stage light effect on my screen. I didn't take a video of it, but I will insert the picture here. Source of the photo is linked in the comments. And I did look it up, but since I could still use the computer like normal, I didn't think much of it. And, you know, maybe I was in denial because I have had zero hardware problems with all of my Apple laptops since 1996. I didn't want to believe that I was having problems now. Anyway, I can still use the laptop, but only when the screen is partially opened. It was very uncomfortable, but I took a day to finish up some work, mostly printing, to mail off to other people. And then on May 15, a Saturday, I finally brought my laptop in so that its flex cable can be replaced. And then on the 17th of May, which is a Monday, I went back to the computer repair shop and the laptop seems to be okay. The screen can be opened to its normal angle. There is no dimming, no flickering of the backlight, and I could see no additional visible problems with the screen. The screen looks pretty normal to me at this point, and there is no more stage light effect as you can see. The date and time is all off because the computer technician had to take out the battery before he can work on the stuff that he had to do. So that reset the date and time. And I did update it manually here, but I prefer to set the date and time automatically by locating myself on a world map. But I have to be online for that, so I did that later on when I was home. And that's exactly what I did when I got home. The screen is doing fine. I spent 8,000 pesos total. That's what I paid the computer technician. And that 8,000 pesos already includes the replacement flex cables, the labor, and a cleanup because the technician said the inside of my computer was already so dirty. I knew it. I knew it. But beyond that, he saw no other problems. Well, everything seems to be okay now. I have a 6-month warranty on this. I bought this laptop on November of 2017. I have an unboxing and setup video for this, which I will link down below. I hope to be able to use this laptop very efficiently for a few more years. My previous laptop was an 11-inch MacBook Air, which I purchased also in late 2010, and I was able to use it without a problem all the way until I bought this MacBook Pro in late 2017. That's 7 years of use for a MacBook Air without any problems. And that laptop is still working even now. I still have it. It still works. But this one, this MacBook Pro, this is a Pro. This should last even longer, hopefully. And that is one of the things that had happened to me lately. I will be uploading more of the late videos this week. Thanks for watching. Bye.